How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to the Enclave. So today we are going to be doing the unboxing and installation of the Lee bullet feeder. Now I'm going to be completely honest, this is the second time I'm filming this. We've actually already had issues with this thing, which to be honest made me change the entire view of how I did this video. So looking through some of the issues I've had, I went to go watch some other videos that were on YouTube and found one that shows basically this black component being made out of metal. It is now made of plastic, and this nut that you see on the bottom here pretty much just friction threads into the plastic. So the problem I'm having is that when the press comes back down, it's actually pulling this nut clean off. Because of that, I'll be honest, I don't know if anyone else has had that issue. I seem to have solved it by just extremely tightly threading that nut on. I could think another solve would be to basically super glue that nut on, so that even if the plastic were to basically wear under the threads, that thing would still hold on because of the super glue, you know? But yeah, sort of disappointing, because like I say, I can see through my troubleshooting now that it appears they've changed that part. And that simple change, for whatever reason, maybe they thought this was better, but I literally was sitting here with the wife, and like she was recording, and while trying to get one round fed, which took us like 2 or 3 strokes, this thing just popped off. Unfortunately, didn't get it on camera, otherwise I would just include that footage. But yeah, basically the nut was just popping right off. And yeah, for that reason, I would say unless you're really desperate for a bullet feeder, or you do not have the ability to get the inline bullet feeding die, which, as I've said before, uses a slot on the press where this one doesn't, I can't give this an immediate glowing, yeah, this is an amazing product, even though the problem could be solved with a drop of super glue. I don't believe in that. If you bought a car and your indicator or your hooter didn't work until you put a drop of super glue on it, most people wouldn't really accept that. So why should it be any different for reloading equipment, etc., etc., you know? So yeah, without any further ado, let's get into the video. And yeah, if you still feel like purchasing this, cool. But yeah, let's get into the actual install and whatnot. Okie dokie, so for this section I just figured it's easier for me to handhold the camera. So as we open the box, you will see an instruction manual, obviously, which will basically outline all of your parts and obviously how to set everything up. So that is your manual. You then have your actual assembly. This is what connects to the bottom of your shell plate and will actually cycle the actions. This is the actual feeder body and die section. It's a really simple piece of kit. So there we have that. Obviously bullets will feed in there, fingers will pop them out. And then finally we have our tubes. This comes with two. There's a thinner one and a thicker one, or smaller and larger, whatever. And that is literally it. That is the kit. So without any further ado, I will get you set up and show you how this mounts onto the press. Okay, so we are back after the unboxing. So, as you will see here, what I have done is put a lock ring on the top, and I have reinstalled the breech lock bushing here on the bottom. That is just screwing and unscrewing two pieces. I figured everyone could handle that part on their own. That is more time consuming than complicated. What I will recommend is you leave this with some freedom of movement, because when you come to actually install it, you want to be able to actually move this and securely lock in place your bottom lock ring, or the blue one in this instance. Then what you can do is tighten down the silver one, but we are not going to do that yet. So next up, we take the linkage with our little problem child piece of plastic here. I want to try and see if I could actually show you guys this. Like, I don't know if things are going to focus here. So you could see on there, hopefully, there are no threads on this plastic. Okay, this is not like a screw. This is not like they've made a plastic screw and this nut threads onto it. And I'm actually going to put a video in the description, that one that I mentioned in the intro, and you guys can go and look at this linkage in his video once it's installed on the press, and you will see it's different. You'll see this is metal, and this is a black nut at the bottom, not a silver one. So they have definitely changed this. So yeah, basically, we take our little problem child. On the back here, you will see a series of holes. We are going to be using the first one, that one over there. Not that one, not that one, the closest to the end of the rod. That is where we're going to be inserting this. So we just pop it through here. Give it a twist, and that then will sit down like that. Let me just adjust the camera, we'll get down to the bottom. Okay, so just to show you, we've got that linkage through the first hole, closest to where the other rod comes through. You want to try and have that downward rod as straight to the bullet feeder as possible. And then we have the connection thing at the bottom that goes through the shell plate. Basically, you want to have the silver connection underneath the shell plate, and then run the screw down into the top of the silver mechanism. And that should be your connections. Okay, so we are at the bottom, and basically you will see on here there are 3 holes. 2 of them are threaded. I don't actually believe the third one is threaded. No, it's not. It's too big. I did think so. Okay, so basically you have 2 holes, and what we're going to do is use the hole that is closest to that side, slip it underneath the shell plate, and then going through the shell plate into that hole, we're basically going to screw that in. This is the tricky part, because it's actually quite difficult to get tools in here, but let's see what we can do. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we have that snugged down, and then basically you can rotate the actual die until this rod at the back is as vertical as possible, so it can go like off to the sides like that. You can see it's tilting. You basically want that as straight as can be, and then you want to tighten down that top lock ring. If you use this lock ring wrench, you can get that nice and tight, and then that setup is pretty much complete. So now, in theory, when the press is all the way at the bottom of the stroke, your fingers should be all the way to the rear. So when we actually go to do a stroke, you'll see that go up under the bullet feeding and seating die. Your case would then come up and meet that round. You'd obviously crimp and seat, and then when you come down, obviously the fingers and everything reset, and we'll grab another bullet. So now you'll see in this action here, when I come back down, this is where that nut just pops off. So it's basically pulling down on that nut now. This thing is very tight. There's a lot of friction on this. So yeah, basically when it comes back down, that thing just ends up popping off. We're not getting it to happen now because I've screwed that thing down tighter than anything. So yeah, but anyways, that is the problem that I was having with that. So yeah, that, like I say, is the problem, but I have pretty much MacGyvered a solution. Just basically cranking that nut down, and if it comes loose again, like I said in the intro, I'm just going to super glue it down. I have contacted the company and said, hey, like I can see that there's been a reduction in product quality here, and you know, I don't really know how to proceed. I've MacGyvered the thing, but I mean, I've like paid you a fair bit of money for something that isn't really working the way it should be working. So yeah, anyways, that is pretty much the unbox and install. Obviously you just take your actual bullet feeder tubes, you just pop them inside there, they just friction fit, it's nothing special. And yeah, that is pretty much the unboxing and installation of the Lee bullet feeder. So yeah, obviously take what I said in my intro with a grain of salt. This very well may just be an issue with my unit. I assume they wouldn't have sent these things out in mass if there was a glaring issue with this new design. But I can say that it's very annoying to have basically on camera. I like made sure everything was cool off camera, come to set it up on camera, and before we could even demonstrate a bullet being loaded, we had a problem here. So that was slightly annoying, but it is what it is. As always, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please stay tuned for the multi-tube adapter, which will be coming in the next video. But yeah, if you've got more time, check out another video here there on the side. And as always, peace out.